Way. Everybody just stick right out there, make sure there's nobody out there. Not hearing any? All right. Ladies and gentlemen, if I could call to order the Hudson Valley Regional EMS Council for September, I guess today is 17th, 2025. We could stand for Pledge of Allegiance, and afterwards, if we could remain standing for a moment of silence in memory of Kevin Robert, please. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. For those of you that are not aware, Mr. Robert lost his life while providing care for a patient aboard one of LifeNet's units. So, condolences and prayers to his family. Karen, if we could have a roll call, please.
Please, good evening, everybody. Please let me know if I slaughter your name so I can say it correctly in the future. Thank you. Dutchess County, Chrissy. Amy, thank you. Dave Violante.
Here, not bad.
Joan Siebert.
Here.
Anthony Tsang. Robert Ridley. Steve Scully Beeman.
Here, Philadelphia.
Here's a step.
William Marshall. Robert Matrigrano. Orange County, Michael Bigg. Richard Wiley.
Here.
Wayne Chan as absent. Dave Grass.
Present.
Israel Knobloch.
Here.
Frank Cassani.
Cassanite.
Frank's here?
No.
Alexandria Wilshire.
Here.
Nancy Pfeiffer is absent. Putnam County, Robert Cuomo. David Jacobson.
Here.
Michael McCloskey. Martin Miller.
Yes.
Nicholas Falcone. Stephen Wygand. Rockland County, Bernice Garati. Nick Rusiecki. Tim Egan.
Here.
Desiree Leon.
Here.
Glenn Albin.
Present.
Allison Spong.
Here.
Ephraim Tauber. B.J. Leitner. Sullivan County, Norman Prentice. Alex Rao.
Here.
Neil Medow. Anthony Carlucci. Susan Sherwood. Peter Goodman. Ulster County, Rich Parrish.
Here.
Tim Mitzel.
Here.
Karen Pardini here. Stephen Sawyer. Jeffrey Ashdown. Jessica Foster. Remsco staff. Joseph Felice.
Here.
Karen Delani's absent. Tammy Reinhardt.
Here.
So you need
13.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, on the just on not on the alternates. Or on the alternates too.
Well, if there's not a delegate here, an alternate can fill a spot.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Yep, so we have a quorum?
Yes.
Okay, very good. We have a quorum, so it's a full meeting. Very good. Just for the record, we did receive a correspondence from Ulster County EMS Council dated September 16, 2025, appointing Timothy Mitzel as a delegate. So, welcome Tim back to the council, I guess is the appropriate word. So, congratulations. I'm going to ask for approval of the minutes. Tim Egan, secondary by Desiree. Is there any changes, omissions, corrections, additions? Hearing none. All those in favor? Opposed? Abstained? Very good. I'm going to take the order out for just a second. Dr. Felice has asked if he could change the order up a little bit because somebody had the audacity to put him on duty tonight.
It's actually not that much
Leave
of a
here and go to work.
rush.
So, but we're going to move you now, so whenever you need to slide out, you can, sir. So
Okay.
please.
Well, I might be able to make it to the end anyway, because of the proximity to St. Luke's.
And there he said,
We'll see.
see you at 10 tonight.
I appreciate everybody who's reached out to me, and somebody said it may be easier if you had my email, so take down joseph.felice, and it's at little clunky newvanshealth.org. Newvanshealth.org is my email. You guys already have my cell phone, and I hope I've been receptive and responsive so far. So what did we have? Just this past week at the REMAC, we had a reversal. We voted to approve a motion to allow EMS agencies to carry and administer antibiotics for open fractures. Thank you to New Windsor for kind of pushing us to reconsider. Tammy, did you put together any education on that yet?
It's still in the process.
I think it's going to be agency to agency with approval from their director, so we're looking forward to that. We approved ALS upgrades for Greenville Township as well as Pine Bush. We are what I would refer to as early stages with a medication restocking program, to try to formalize the one-for-one restocking at some of the regional hospitals. More to come on that. What else did we do, Tammy? We did, RSI. So we basically voted to approve our new RSI oversight policy. Basically, the medical director for any individual agency will designate somebody who will be the trainer for that. So that's also going to be agency to agency. Have we put anything on that yet, Tammy, for the region?
No.
Also to come.
Yeah, it's in the process.
Okay, yeah, I mean, I have it. If anybody wants me to email what we voted on, I can send it. No protocol meeting in August, although prior to that we had updated our policies and procedure manual section by section, but we didn't have that to vote on yet, so that should be next meeting. I can report on that. And then in terms of helicopter stuff, this happened sort of without my realizing it, but they updated the ID cards, which is cute. So that includes a photo of a helicopter for recognition and clarity in the field operations, which I think is great. And then more substantively, Air Methods is moving towards finger thoracostomy into their scope of practice, which was, I think, brought up at CMAC. Oh, I didn't hear back about that.
They brought it up because they had to take it through committee in a different way. They weren't able to vote on that.
Okay, so that's probably still to come. I think that's exciting.
Yeah.
Because that's like a life-saving procedure. And then we were also introduced to some representatives from Northwell EMS, which is called Sky Health. That's their helicopter division, but also they're going to be stationed at Vassar Hospital for ground interfacility transports. So possibly more to come on that. So that was, I think, also exciting, although I don't have a ton of new information from Northwell. I think that's basically all I had. Medications. Yeah, any questions for me or things we can do to help out?
Going once. Thank you, Dr. Felice.
Okay.
We appreciate everything.
I'm not going to sneak out. I'm here for a while.
All right, excellent. Well, we just want to be respectful of your time. We appreciate you coming
I
in.
appreciate you.
Rich, do you have your report, please?
Yes. Dave and I have been meeting on a regular basis with the finance reports. We're having an issue with and he may expand on that, with the bank, trying to get everybody on board now. I represented the council at the Lower Hudson Valley Hospital Mutual Aid Coordinating Entity, the Hudson Valley Office of Hospital Emergency Preparedness, Ulster County EMS Awards, the Ulster County meetings. Pat Ryan had an EMS town hall meeting in Marlborough. I presented region office funding, grant funding, and Medicaid, Medicare reimbursement issues, but a lot of other agencies were there and talked about a lot of different things. Transportation Committee, I'm sure glad I'm retired because it's sucking up a lot of time. 8 meetings to date for South Blooming Grove. We had conference calls with their lawyers numerous times, conference calls with the Bureau of EMS. We got some guidance on how to handle the thing. Then we had the CON hearing. And the next thing that came down, if you're not familiar with it, is every agency now has to go back and look at their operating territory. It's called clarification of operating territory. Karen and I, with the help of Central New York Region, put a policy procedure together. That was presented at the August meeting and approved, so we now have a checklist of what the agency's supposed to do, what they have to give to the Transportation Committee, so we can move that forward. The Transportation Committee also worked on the Hurley transfer of operating authority, and was asked to, I think you and I both were on that one, with the hospice of Orange, Rockland County. They're looking to do what Blue Care did, get their own ambulance. So we gave them some guidance on the CON process, and we haven't heard anything back from them since. Okay? The protocol committee been involved with that. Somehow my friend over here volunteered me to do a pediatric SGA presentation. I put that together, and in the process of field testing it with Kingston Fire Department, and then we'll have that ready for everybody. All right, the training and ed, a couple meetings there, the REMAC meetings, the helicopter meetings. At Remsco, I'm involved with the training and ed committee. We do monthly Zooms with that. The safety committee, same thing. And at the safety committee, they have a tag for hazardous weather response plan. Last year I did a tabletop, and it went over so well I was asked to do it yearly. So this year when I went to present it, I'm sitting down looking at it, and it really needs to be an emergency management plan, not just a hazardous weather plan. So, you know, gave him my thoughts on that, and then Ed Major, who is a senior rep with the state, he was involved with the school bus accident up in the Thruway last month, and he chimed in and supported my comments that it is now an emergency management tag. We're going to be starting to look at that and putting stuff together for that. And again, you know, keep your mouth shut and stay in one place, but I got appointed as the co-chair now of that tag, so we'll see where that goes. That's what I've been doing.
Thanks, Rich. Any questions for Rich? Very good, hearing none. All right, so what I want to do is start out on my report quick. I forgot to allow all of our attendees to introduce themselves and let us know who they're representing. So I will kindly ask that everybody sitting in the room identify who you are, who you're here representing, and if you're with the general public, we'd love to have you here as well. So, we'll go ahead and start over with our lovely colleagues. Michael.
Michael Landon from New York State Department of Health EMS.
Megan McGregor, New York State Department.
Very nice.
Dave Maria, Dutchess County EMS Council.
Andrew Tarasoff, Chief of Operations, Montgomery EMS.
Laura Martin.
Very nice.
Jonathan Marshall with Northwell Health. Suino, Northwell Health EMS.
Keith Woking, Northwell Health.
Brian Williams, Downey River EMS.
Kent Fitzgerald, Early Ambulance.
John Mahoney, Dutchess County EMS Coordinator.
Outstanding. Thank you, guys. I apologize for not letting you introduce yourself so everybody knows who you are. And we encourage you guys to continue to come. Your voice, your opinions are well received, so thank you. Just some quick updates of what's going on here in the office, because I'll do the office update and then let Tammy do her QI report. As you may or may not be aware, Bill Hughes is semi-retiring or semi-enjoying retirement, because I haven't fully let him retire yet. He has been working diligently to push our program agency funding through the never-ending process of approvals. And that's the best that I can summarize that to. It's easy to want to get upset at somebody, but I think it was just a perfect storm where this moved from a one-year contract to 5-year contracts. At the exact same time, somebody in the comptroller's office decided to change to a different funding system. We went from Grants Gateway to the SFS system, or the state funding system. So it was just a perfect storm. It's a nightmare. It is not the same process, so it takes a lot of diligence, a lot of work, and a lot of submissions, and a lot of subsequent emails going, nice try, now do this. So, in Bill's defense, we have received our first check. So we have skated away from insolvency. It was about $62,000, so that was a relief. We could breathe again. So we are actively working, and Bill will be back in the office this week to start working on the second quarter submissions and get them finalized, because we run into a couple of roadblocks with those. For those of you that thought we were bad, it was interesting to sit at the program agency meetings, which I attend up at State on Monday afternoons, to find out that about 2/3 of our colleagues across the state have not even started the process yet. And I don't quite understand how they're surviving financially, but to each their own, but that was kind of a revelation. I think we were, and again, somebody that was there, correct me, one of 8 or 9 that have started and successfully working through the process out of 18 councils. So it's kind of scary when you start thinking about, where that's at. So it was a very small amount. So we're working on it. It's coming through. We're going to see it. Just so you guys understand where we're at, once our second quarter check arrives, and then we have some space and breathing room in our budget, we will then uptick the hunt for a new program agency. One of the things that we will discuss, in light of Bill now having been gone for nearly 9 months, is whether we need to replace the executive director position with a full-time person, or whether it would behoove the council to go to a part-time position and then have somebody that's working on that. So again, you guys will make that decision, and we'll do that together, but we'll look at the pros and cons of where that might benefit us, because then we might be able to take some of those finances and push them into other categories that might be able to help our education division. Because one of the things that we have not been able to tap into is the monies that are available through the Bureau for paramedic funding and other programs that are out there, recruitment and retention programs. We just don't have the bandwidth to even start those. So that would be one of my top priorities, is if we were moving down through there. So that's where we'll go, and again, by December, I'm hoping to have a little better idea of where we stand, where we're at, and we should be able to move down through that. I was notified last week that the Blue Care appeal has come back from the DLA and will be on the agenda for systems in the December Remsco meeting. So we should have an interpretation from the Bureau, Department of Legal Affairs, of what their opinion of the appeal was, and then we'll see what happens when it goes to systems, and then eventually to the Remsco as a complete. So I talked to the finances, and the last thing that I just wanted to touch on, as you guys have noticed, our ray of sunshine that keeps the wheels spinning on this organization is still not here today. Karen is feeling better, but she's had a couple of complications, and at her doctor's request and my agreement, she is continuing to work from home. I think she's working more now from home than she ever did in the office, because everybody's rattling her phone. So we've got her dialed in from home where she can, get into her computer, do what she's got to do. Just every once in a while, we seem to, when this building takes a power spike and it shuts our computer down, then her link's broken and we have to come back in and manually reset it. And then sometimes we have to get IT involved, because it's just, Microsoft does some kind of update and it gets a little hairy. But we're working on it, so for those of you that, have processes or programs that need to be handled, just give us a little extra time when you're putting that through. So we will get to it, we just need a little extra time. So that's more important, unless somebody has questions.
Just a quick question.
Yes, sir.
Remember last, or was it, I don't know, was it the emergency meeting or the one before, where we moved funds from one thing to another?
Yes,
Do
sir.
we have to reverse that now?
So that was moved, right? So yes, you guys approved moving $25,000. There was $15,000 moved from program agency, from council funds into payroll, and then we moved $10,000 from council into program agency. I have not reversed that yet. because I want to wait for that second check to hit. I don't want to get to the point where that second quarter funding gets delayed and then we get into the same boat. So I'd rather leave it sit as it is, and then once that second quarter funding arrives, we will reverse that back where the program agency gets reimbursed in that fund. Make sense?
Makes sense.
Not a problem. I just don't want to have to come before you again and ask for emergency transfers again. So we'll wait till we have a little depth in the bank. Cushion. Yeah. Okay, any other questions for me? Outstanding, hearing none. I guess we're ready for the treasurer's report, and timing was perfect. Welcome, Anthony. He's been in there cutting checks like a little banshee.
Yeah, so I'm gonna table my treasurer's report. I'm so busy trying to figure out what's 2018 that I haven't had a chance to do anything else with it.
Right.
Sorry about that.
So it's not a problem. Just to kind of give you guys a little bit of insight, myself and the Hudson Valley Credit Union have become intimate over the last several days, where every time they give me a new cadre of paperwork to fill out and I get it filled out and stamped and returned, I get told I need more paperwork. So, as of today, Anthony, after 5 trips to the bank, is still not on as a signatory for the bank. It appears that banking for business rules changed in January of 2025, and it's as if you're starting a brand new corporation. So, it's crazy. So we're working on it. I'm hoping that we have the last document, and it'll be submitted tomorrow, and it will go through, but then we'll get it through. So, thank you, Anthony. We have money. I can assure you that. Okay? We have a little bit of money. We can pay our bills, we can pay our staff, we can keep the lights on. I'm happy. All right? Anything else for Anthony? Hearing none, we can't really vote on it, so we'll go from there. So let's go to Tammy on your QI report, please.
So, with Karen being out, everything's been slowed just a little bit. I have a lot of things that I need to do that just haven't gotten accomplished. We did send out an agency questionnaire back in August, asking everyone for their agency count, as well as their medical directors, as well as whether or not they had cyno kits. I started working on a cyno kit education study that we need to do as part of our program agencies. We have to have a study done. It hasn't, unfortunately, I haven't been able to make any work on it lately. I am missing a few agencies though from certain areas. Otherwise, I do have loads of training videos I have to make that were given to me at the last REMAC meeting. And I've been working with the state on weekly image trend meetings. It seems like we got almost everybody synchronized and coming up. We have 1 or 2 loose accounts that we just have to figure out why they're not syncing. But for the most part, all the charts are being entered, everything's going through, and I will work on Glenn's, I promise. But otherwise, until Karen comes back, I'm playing catch up doing everything in the office that she can't do, so I apologize to anyone.
Any questions for Tammy? Thank you. Let's move over to committee reports. Bernice, training, education.
Bernice isn't here, so I'll give the report.
And the ever so wonderful Desiree.
So we had a training meeting yesterday, just a couple things. Jenny Solomon was on the call from the state. She is putting together best practices for distance learning. So that'll be available to all the training agencies soon. There's going to be a CIU at Dutchess on 11/8. It'll be available via Zoom and in person. Sullivan Community College is looking to offer their assistance to any other area. We're welcome to come there if we need any training opportunities, but they're also willing to travel a little bit as well. Rich Parish is working on some incident command stuff. We're going to be sending him some stuff that we did in Rocklands as a kind of like a refresher for our EMS agencies, and maybe formalize something and be able to, send that out to all of the counties. From State Council, they talked about the training and ed meeting. National Registry EMT just went to a new platform for their registrations, and unfortunately the State Health Department doesn't have access to it. So one of the options to get certified, if you take an EMT class, instead of taking the New York State written exam, you can take the National Registry exam, submit that for New York State certification. Since New York State does not have access to their registry at the moment, that's being delayed by several weeks. So it's recommended that you tell your students to make sure they take the state exam so to not delay their state certification. And I think that was it. Anybody else have anything?
The National Registry actually is upgrading their software, and the data is all over the place and makes 0 sense whatsoever. And so, in the report to the state that they're trying to get, nothing matches up. And so, for them, when they go in to try and see Dave Violante take the National Registry and how to do, it may have my name and Desiree's number and Dave's results and Michael's address, and so nothing matches at all. And so it's taking 4 to 8 weeks to clarify that stuff. They're hoping to get it worked out, hopefully, in the next several weeks. But so that's why it's taking so long. And as Des said, just take both, right? And then, your state exam, certainly you're going to get your results right away, and you have all of that. And then if you're looking for National Registry for other reasons, you'll eventually get that.
Desiree, the only other question that I had, I know we had talked about it last time, was the Training and Education Committee ready to set dates for a CLI course?
No, I read the minutes, and Dave and I are supposed to be working on that over the summer. So we're gonna wait for us and work on that soon.
All right, do you think it'll be before the end of the year, or should we shoot for, in case somebody calls the regional office and asks?
So I'm gonna
Early
reach out to
26, late
Westchester to see
25.
when theirs is, and we'll either try to piggyback off of theirs, or
Excellent.
if theirs is coming up sooner in the fall, then we'll wait for the later
Okay.
to do ours.
Excellent.
So more information.
And if memory serves me right, we were gonna dovetail with Bernadette in Connections in November for a CIU?
Yeah,
Is that
that's
still
in the-
moving forward?
The November 8th, yep.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, she has the itinerary done, and Jenny Solomon's working on the science of the state, to do the state portion.
Excellent. The only thing that I'll add to that for anybody that's not on the core sponsor meeting that happened today at 3 o'clock, the one interesting piece that did come out from Ms. Solomon is that the state has made a determination that CIC and CLI certificates will too be moved to 4-year certificates. So those of you that are getting ready or in the process of getting ready to renew your instructor certificates, go up onto Health Commerce in the next couple of days, and you will probably find that you've had a 1-year extension added to it. So that's what I took away from the meeting. So if anybody has anything else, nothing from Training Ed? Perfect. Beautiful. Okay, so we did that one, please. Transportation Committee, please.
All right, so 2 things. Rich alluded to it earlier, the clarification of territory policy. That will be posted up on the website. For those agencies, I guess, that are coming up for their CON, and they have to make sure that they have the proper clarification. They need to submit, based on the policy, what they have. Clearly, we've had one that came in. I'm gonna send the policy to them to make sure they have everything, and make sure, and then when we determine, when he submits everything, we will then vote on it and bring it to the full council. We will have an action pending for the December meeting on Hurley. We'll take care of getting their transfer of ownership done.
Okay. All right, very good. We'll make sure that gets on the agenda. All right, any questions or comments for the Transportation Committee? Hearing none, we're going to skip public education. That'll take us to Mr. Egan and Legislative and Bylaws, sir.
Good evening. So a little light on substance this evening, only because everything that's been passed in the Assembly and Senate has been sent up to the governor's office, but there's been no action in any bills. There's really not much to talk about until those bills are considered by the Governor's Health Council and presented for signature. So not a lot to talk about there yet, so no real change since the last time.
Very good. Any questions for Tim? Hearing none, you might get your wish then, Doc. All right. Anything you want to add on community and paramedicine, Tim?
We continue at the Remsco work group with regard to community paramedicine. Jonathan and I both sit on that. We do have a meeting, I believe, tomorrow. Yeah, we have a meeting tomorrow on that. We haven't met for it in a few weeks because of state council. So that work continues, and we hope to have some good regulation language soon.
Excellent, excellent. Love it. Any questions for Tim? Hearing none, we will defer to Mr. Violante and the State Council report. So,
Okay, I will get this out to everybody and just go through some of the highlights here. From the Finance Subcommittee, they discussed the federal One Big Beautiful Bill Act and how it could impact EMS. Please go to the National Association of EMTs website and you'll see a summary there of how that impacts EMS. So just go to their website and see the things that are there. See if some of the things are going to affect you. There's potential for big changes in that actually for funding. We submitted the state fiscal year 26 to 27 state budget recommendations, which include increases for Remsco's, program agencies, and education and training also. That was approved by the council and submitted to the division of EMS. On the education and training, we talked about national registry, and there's a variety of different new business items I'll go over towards the end of this. Legislative regulations, just gave, thank you. From the systems committee, they're looking at an entirely new certificate of need process, what we affectionately call 0606. We are running through the shredder, so no one can call it 0606 anymore, and just coming up with what we should do and how we will move it forward. We're going to come up with a bulleted list of how we should look at the certificate of need process, and then work with our colleagues in the division to come up with the actual wording and pull that forward. So that is being worked on now. Safety subcommittee is working on management of escalation tactics, hazardous response plans, a restraint policy, stretcher operations, red lights and sirens review, tabletop exercises, and workplace violence. So that committee is doing a whole lot of stuff, so it's great work coming from that. Everybody doing quality improvement, right? Shake your head since the state's in the room and they're here to help. So every agency is supposed to be doing quality improvement per state regulation and I think actually statute, right? And statute. So go take a look at that if you're not sure. If you're not sure how to do it, please go to the Division of EMS website, and in the, I think it's operations section, there's an area there for quality improvement, and the quality improvement web page has all the material you would need for, it's got the updated manual, a quick start guide, and ways of doing this. Also, feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to walk you through it and happy to come out to your agency and show you how to do it and help, or if you want to do something different with how you're doing quality improvement. And it's not the quality assurance of old, it is the quality improvement of new, following Remsco measures. So I'm happy to go through that. Tammy and I have talked a lot about this at the region and with Dr. Felice about having some regional quality improvement processes that agencies could dovetail into, which would also then satisfy your requirements at your agency to be involved in quality improvement. And so we're working on that as well. We do have a clinical data integrity tab that is looking at how some of the information that Tammy was talking about not only gets to the state, but then is viewed at the state. And so there's a variety of codes that different vendors use, from SNOMED codes to NEMSIS codes, and all of that's zeros and ones that took us a long time to also figure out. And it's just really sort of different dialects of translation of information, and sometimes we can translate it and sometimes we cannot. So we're working with vendors to create a process whereby it is all standardized, which is what we thought it was in the first place, and we'll eventually get there. Vital Signs Conference is coming up. Mike, do you want to say anything about that?
I think registration's open now.
It is,
so
yeah. So take a look at the state website. There's a lot of great stuff. going on with that, a lot of pre-conferences. This year is a little different. It's a Friday, Saturday instead of a Saturday, Sunday. Pre-conferences are before Fridays. So I think it's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Tuesday.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Friday, Saturday's the conference, and then Sunday you get to go home. Innovations and research is working on behavioral healthcare collaboration for crisis stabilization centers, artificial intelligence and EMS, and essential services. AI and EMS. Be very careful that your vendors are using AI the right way. There should not be anything public facing. It should all be internal facing. Members, providers, folks should not be writing their narratives by ChatGPT, because that is a public facing thing that is out there, and there's the possibility of information getting out. And we don't want to do that. We don't want to do that. And the patient certainly doesn't want you to do that. So some of these AI processes within the PCR systems that are inward facing, protected, compliant in that they have zero demographic information involved, are okay, but again, you still have to review them and realize that they're saying the right thing. You're still responsible for them, and most of those vendors make you sign something that says that you read it, so that it can be clear that you wrote it with AI assistance. Med standards, we talked about the supraglottic airway. We're hoping that the policy is out by the end of the month. And there was a discussion about BLSFRs not being included in the policy at this point. That is because BLSFRs are not a covered entity with the state, and that they're restricted. They don't have a DOH. They're not a DOH licensed agency. They're not covered by the state in the same way that others are. And so we will be looking at that in future renditions of the policy statement to be inclusive of them. But as of right now, our friends here can't go and do a service check on a BLSFR the way they can on an ambulance agency or an ALSFR agency. And so that's why they're not covered at the moment. We did talk about the RSI process at the state level, and they have information, including ours, from the Hudson Valley region to be inclusive in things that they're looking at. We have a specialty care transport tag that is up and running to provide guidance to agencies in education, equipment, potential standards, this and that, whatever. It's sort of a little open at the moment as we move through, figuring out what for sure the group is going to do, but this is a great movement forward for the specialty care transport area. There was a discussion by our docs on the utility of cervical collars and backboards. And so this was a great area of discussion. And while perhaps we should turn backboards into benches, we should not do the same with cervical collars. And that the soft collars really do nothing but keep your neck warm. And really we do need a rigid cervical extrication collar. And perhaps some of the problems are the way we put it on. But really, that's the thing that the patient needs if we suspect some kind of an injury where we want to put them out. So please check those things out. It sounds like trauma center projects for this year are going to be working with local providers to do some kind of cervical collar use and when and how and all that sort of thing. So that was a pretty good discussion there. EMS for Children, Dr. Cooper talked a lot about the things they're doing. There's a lot of work in the pediatric area, so that's great news from them. You'll see some of those things coming out. The regulation updates are out and passed through everything, and we voted on them and passed them also, so those will be going out. Those are the vehicle and equipment regulations. They're not the vehicle build standards, they're the equipment regulations you'll see. They're posted and boardable. They'll be out. They'll take like another probably few weeks to 6 weeks to get through the process and then be put out. And you'll have, correct me if I'm wrong, like 6 months to be up to date with that, right? Okay. And things are grandfathered in for what you currently have to some extent, but you'll see what the regulations are. And then what probably took most of the discussion time across the 3 days that we were there is the critical care technician level. And so in 2017, we started working on this, and when I say we, I mean the state and the Remsco and the CMAC, in discussing how to align more closely with the national EMS standards and regulations. And we talked about beginning to sunset the critical care level. We had a lot of discussions over many years in committees, out of committees, and we voted in 2024 to sunset the EMTCC in 2027, while giving providers the ability to take a reimbursable online course to bridge to the paramedic level, or go to an advanced AEMT level. Many did. And so at the last month's CMAC Remsco, we had a visit with First Deputy Health Commissioner and Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Heslin, and he related that the Commissioner did not want to sign off on our current sunset date of 3 years because he thought that it was a little bit of a short runway of a time frame, a little bit fast from the time we made the decision in 24 to sunset, although we've been working on this since 2017. He did spend a lot of time with us in all of the committees, talking with us in between committees, afterwards, hallways, breakfast, lunch, dinner. Like he was really involved with us, which was wonderful. He asked a lot of thoughtful questions. He said that he came out with a really better understanding of how we all came to this decision and why, and for all the effort we put into it. Certainly, we're very happy for the communication with the Commissioner's office, and it looks like they're going to be a little bit more involved with us, which is great. So to that end, he asked us to go back to committee to work on this. Not that we're not going to sunset it, but that we're going to come up with a little bit better plan and timeline of how we're going to do it. And so we're going to do that. We don't want to lose any providers. We see providers moving up. We see a lot of providers coming back. We actually have more providers now than when we did in 2017, which is fantastic. We have something close to 90,000 providers, and so that's great. So we're bringing this back to see next Remsco, and we'll have a future meeting to work out what it's going to look like. And so that's the idea of this.
Got the pre-COVID numbers?
No, we're way ahead of pre-COVID numbers. Pre-COVID numbers were something like 79, something like that, 77 somewhere, 72, something like that, pre-COVID, and we're now up to almost 89, 90,000. So
That's good.
yeah, so it's great. And that's my report. If there's any questions or corrections or changes, or give me the honest.
Doc Heslin's from Sawbridge, by the way.
He is, yeah. He talked about that. He talked about riding up there, and he still has a couple of patients that refuse to let him go. He did spend a lot of time in EMS in Ulster County, and he talked fondly about it.
I think he was a medical director for DS for a while.
DS, that's right. Yeah.
Nice.
Yep.
All right, hearing no questions for David. All right, we'll jump over into old business, obviously the CIS M tag. I have a report here from Brenda Taylor, who could not be here tonight. Anthony, looks like you sit on the tag. Do you want to deliver this, or would you like for me to? Do you know about the report?
I sit on the tag.
You're listed on the report.
Wayne Chan.
No, Anthony's
Okay.
on here.
Great.
Okay, so this is from Brenda Taylor. If you'll remember, she sits on the Council's Wellness and Resiliency tag. So just give me a few minutes. I'm going to read through this as fast as I can. Executive summary. This report represents the finding and recommendations of the Hudson Valley Remsco Wellness and Resilience tag, tasked with reviewing available wellness, resilience, and critical incident stress debriefing resources for the Hudson Valley first responders, as well as evaluating access to those resources. The review was conducted between December 2021 and May 2025. Information collected via review of existing programs identified in internet search and interviews with area first responders. The committee found resources that were difficult to locate and access. Initial debriefing options identified for the region included Rockland Assist Team and the Ulster County SISM Team, and Access, an excellent resource but not peer model base. We met with representatives from the Rockland and Ulster County programs as we considered establishing a regional debriefing team. Due to the magnitude of that endeavor, we shifted from focusing on regional peer support debriefing team models to advocating for agency-based peer support systems. Following the NAMT and Ulster County SISM Wellness and Unit Lead, we began promoting resilient officer training as an initial step for team information, promoting and recruiting. Interested volunteers met many barriers, including availability for training time and financial aid constraints. They listed out their purposes, which included identify current wellness and resilience supports available for the Hudson Valley, evaluate accessibility, awareness, and utilization of these programs, identify CAP barriers, recommend strategies to improve support systems for mental health, well-being, and resilience. Consider establishing a CISD team and additional resources. Key findings. 22-23, only 3 resources were identified throughout the region, 2 CISM teams and local mental health clinicians, notably the Access team and their clinical incident response teams, non-peer-based clinical support responders to community events, available primary for victims and community members affected by those incidents. Information interviews of first responders reported limited, and if any, awareness of available service. Common barriers to access included stigma surrounding seeking help, scheduling conflicts due to respondent working overtime or multiple shifts, geographic disparities in availability of service, resources underutilized due to the lack of wellness and resource confidentiality concerns. Recommendations. Improve promotion of existing resources, centralize and confidential wellness resources hubs where resource information is kept updated and a conduit for collaborative networking, peer support coordinators and teams. Establish regular communication with each county's peer support team coordinator. Keep the conversation open and collaborative. Develop processes for keeping available resources up to date. Provide reoccurring mental health education and awareness campaigns. Promote the New York State Department of Health mental health education. Bring seminars, classes, conferences to the Hudson Valley region to facilitate attendance by area first responders. In summary, the committee is no longer relevant or required. At this time, the original purpose has been fulfilled and is being addressed through other effective structures and processes. As such, maintaining the committee is no longer necessary, and its function has been discontinued without impacting the overall needs and goals and wellness and resiliency of the Hudson Valley regional first responders. All relevant identified sources are attached to this report, and she put them in there. I would ask if there's any questions for them, but she's not here. Anthony, is there anything you wanted to add?
No, the last time I spoke about this, the council was interested in hearing from Brenda. So now that you've heard from Brenda, I guess we will determine whether or not we can expand the tag or not. And if you don't expand it, I guess give us new direction.
Very good. I will open it up to the floor. Suggestions? Recommendations? Motions?
Is that up on Portable?
Not yet. It will be.
That was a mouthful, dude.
I can repeat it if you like.
Hard pass.
Okay.
Without making any motions, I would want to say thank you for the day.
Absolutely. All right, we can table this till next meeting. So what I would do is encourage you to think about, her recommendations as the tag, and then decide whether you want to continue it, disband it, repurpose it, and let's bring it before the council in old business for the December meeting.
I think boarding Tim, is there some way that we can get it up there, that we can read it?
Yes, we'll have it up on board.
I think we also have to sort of look at the spirit of what she's saying and really try to get more wellness and, programs here in the Hudson Valley, especially since they're available, and Jenny Solomon is from the Hudson Valley. We've worked on a lot of these things and can hopefully bring them to us. And so I think we should ensure that we do that and not just say, okay, move on.
Very good. All right, well, we'll table this until the December meeting, and then we'll look for some guidance from the council on how you guys want to move forward. Okay? Any old business that anybody wants to address? I'll open it up to new business. Desiree.
Just real quickly, Nicera is trying to rebirth their pulse check. This year it's gonna be a one-day youth focus, but it's not just for youth. Conference, it's gonna be at the Fire Training Center in Malmo in Rockland County. CME will be offered, it's on their website. We have Brian Greenberg coming down to speak about leadership, Aiden O'Connor. I think there's a lot of really good speakers. Dave's not speaking, his anniversary has gone away. But we also have a panel. He did. But it's also going to be their annual meeting and their award ceremony, so I know they're working through their awards process, so will be going out. I do know that there were some award winners from our region, so there's big. It's $10 for youth and $15 for adults for the day. You get some lunch. We're trying to get a sponsor for t-shirts. If anybody's got any money, come see me after the meeting. Especially for the kids. So, but they're going to be talking, if you've got a small youth squad or you're looking to start one up in the service in your area, they're going to be talking about, best practices and leadership and developing drill teams and things like that.
Excellent. I guess the other thing that we should probably dovetail on that is just a little shout out to Dutchess Community College with their Connections conference that's coming up in November. Keep that on your horizons. Great opportunities for continuing education and getting the word out there. Before I ask for what everybody's looking for, what I would like to do is just to defer to Michael and colleague for comments as we're going around and doing your due diligence with spot inspections, agency inspections, any recommendations to the council to take back to their individual counties or agencies to help them be successful in meeting the goals and objectives of you guys.
Sure, so ultimately, what we're looking for, everyone is aware of, it's Part 800, Article 30. So just when we reach out to you for your inspection, we're going to look through the vehicles, we're going to look at restock areas, we're going to go through personnel files, QA, QI, make sure it's evident and how it's being done, making sure the policies are up to date. And that's really what we're looking at. So that's a bulk of it. If things are found to be deficient, we issue you a deficiency notice where you just say how you're going to fix it moving forward. And it's kind of like a no harm, no foul type deal. We don't want this to be punitive in any way. We don't want this to come as, hey, the state is showing up and we're getting shut down. That's not our goal. Our goal is to actually make it so you are alive and well. So if you have questions, if you need any guidance, please reach out to us. Our numbers are on the website, our emails, whatever you need from us, just please let us know. It's easier to get ahead of it as opposed to finding it later and then it's harder to correct something in that moment. So that's really the biggest advice we can give you is to reach out.
Excellent. Anything you want to add on to that?
Not this time.
Just want to be the new kid in the block and pay attention. Very good. Anybody else on the phone? John, go ahead.
I want to sit here and send out a couple of thank yous. Monday night, multiple counties got involved at an MCI at Fishkill Corrections. We had ambulances from Dutchess, Orange, and Putnam County. We had more ambulances at the scene that was required, which was a good thing. And we had enough to make sure no calls went uncovered in Dutchess County. So thank you to all the counties. The other thing, this goes out to as we're talking about the SISM team, the Ulster County team came over last month to Dutchess County. We had a volunteer assistant fire chief who responded to a structure fire. When he arrived and walked into the backyard, he collapsed and went into cardiac arrest. Was resuscitated, brought to a hospital, was declared dead, decided he didn't want to be dead, came back to life. Actually was discharged and went home. The team came over and spoke with the fire department and along with the crisis team from Dutchess County Health Department. And the fire department was thankful about how the team came over and handled them and helped them get over the situation, what occurred.
Excellent. Excellent.
So thank you.
Thanks, Scott. Anybody else?
Is this public comment?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'd like to introduce myself, Kent Fitzgerald from Burley Ambulance Service,
Welcome.
Ulster County. And as you heard mentioned before, we have a transfer of operating authority before the council currently. And my last communications with the council back in August indicated that that would go through the Transportation Committee the following week, the week of August 15th, and be up for consideration of this meeting, which would put it just within the 60-day allowance
Right.
for the policies. So I just found out in conversation with Rich this afternoon that something happened. And, it hasn't reached the agenda. And it was kind of dismaying to hear December mentioned. This has been a long process, and it's a fairly modest, I thought, conversion of 2 volunteer fire-based agencies into a single town-wide paid service. So the vehicles are there, the personnel are largely there, expertise and experience is there. So I just wanted to be here to address any questions or concerns or issues, and any feedback regarding competence, everything like that. And just to see how we could possibly move forward with this without, basically realistically pushing off our operational start into 2026. So that's my plea.
Okay. We can look at it. All I can do is apologize that it didn't make it to the agenda. Unfortunately, there was a miscommunication coming out of the Transportation Committee when they met to review your application. They didn't have a quorum, so they couldn't pass anything. And then unfortunately, because of some of the experiences that we've been experiencing with staff being in and out, it was unfortunately missed. We couldn't add it last minute when it was discovered because we did not have a stenographer here, which is a requirement for that, as well as put a request into the state for a fitness and competency review for presentation to the council as a complete application. If you're requesting, we can consider a special meeting. Is operations not being met now by the 2 other departments?
It's being met at the 85 to 90% level that
Okay.
we try to maintain.
Understood.
Yeah, probably my biggest concern is, first of all, our credibility with the town, which is signing a contract with us, and with employees who put in applications months ago, and I have been stalling over and over again. Do whatever we can.
Okay. Give me a couple of days to look at and see what we can do. To call for a special meeting, that we have certain timelines to put that in process to be able to do that, and then we have to make sure that we meet that quorum to get that done. I'll look at it and see what can be done to try and expedite that. Okay, so all I can do is apologize. I can't offer a better explanation other than we apologize.
I appreciate it, and I'm well aware of the challenges that you've been facing and the hard work that you do on a largely volunteer basis.
Really largely. Extremely largely.
A small volunteer agency in the same situation.
Understood. Thank you, though. I appreciate your understanding. So we might be able to work with that. Is there anything else for new business? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion for adjournment. Alex, seconded by. Desiree wants to go home. Joan says she'll follow her. Have a great evening, guys. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.